Remember that?
Again,
I mean,
they could find this. I don't remember anything. She could find this information out. You can't. This is 2020, Damien. You can't just lie like that. Everything can be Googled in an instant. She could probably Google his name and like amnesia, and the article should come up if he was in a car accident. It would have been published somewhere in the news, perhaps.
Well, us three being the host of the most downloaded podcast in the world, and I don't think that's provable. Yep. I don't think there's any way people could find that out. I wouldn't have to disagree with you, Tom. No, but I'm just joking. I do wonder, like, if there's a part of the girlfriend, because if movies have taught me anything, I would love if, like, she went on the date with him and then she's just trying to bash him over the head, like, but make it seem like an accident to re-jog his memory, because that's always the movie thing of being like, that's how they get their memory back. They smash their head again and everything comes flooding back.
Damien, I've just got an idea for this guy.
Here we go.
Perfect idea. All right, you've got amnesia. Well, you're pretending you've got amnesia. You go on the date with her. You drop a fork or something, and you go to pick it up. You bang your head on the table, and it all comes flooding back.
As he pops his head back up, Marie.
Yeah,
he remembers her. Did he say that he has said the amnesia lie because he wants to pursue her? Is that his purpose?
It was purely just he panicked, and I think this person had such an emotional impact on him. He just didn't know how to respond, so he just acted like he didn't know who she was to get out of it, and he didn't expect to be, essentially asked out by her at the end.
I feel like that should say it all. She had that big of an effect on you 6 years ago and 6 years now, and still has that big of an effect on you that you made up a bullshit lie about amnesia. Like that's a ballsy fucking lie to make up. I feel like that should be less than enough for you to go, you know what? I don't need her in my life. I don't need somebody in my life that can control me that badly. Like she might have changed. Look, to be fair to her, she might have changed as a person. The fact that she wants to go back on dinner again, she might have changed and realized I fucked up back then. I want to go and rekindle this. But that being said, it's how you react to her. And I feel like if you react to her this way, like she eats you up, what goes to say that she doesn't control you again like that? Like, I don't feel like you should.
If he's deep down doesn't want it and that was a panicked reaction, I don't think he should go ahead with the date, because it sounds like he was over her. He doesn't want to sort of be under her again. So I would say leave it. Don't go on the date. And just say, I forgot. I have a traumatic brain injury. Sorry, I forgot that the date was on. Who are you again? Just say he forgets everything.
Yes. I want to ask you, Tom, I guess we can finish with this. Do you remember how The Vow finishes, how Channing Tatum helps her get her memory back? Like, what happens? Does he, like, pull down his pants and she's like, damn, now I remember you. Now.
Yeah. He does the dance to Pony. He strip dances to Pony. Like, now, ever since Magic Mike, that's how they end every Channing Tatum movie. They get him shirtless and do a strip dance. I don't actually remember how it ends, but they do end up together. I don't know whether she has another traumatic brain injury and then it knocks some sense into her, or if it's something that like gradually comes back to her.
Okay, so it's not like they have a moment where they like become romantically intimate. She masturbates the Tatum and then jogs her memory or something like that.
No.
Look, I actually agree with you guys. I think the right thing is just to come clean, and then maybe you guys can catch up. I mean, not that anything's going to come from that, but at least you're being honest. And that's a really weird lie to make up and keep going.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to relive. I wouldn't want to have to live with that lie specifically.
There's no lie worthy of keep spinning. Like it's too hard. That's too hard.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's leave it there then for Two Towers, and I'm going to go next with this one, and it's also going to have a 2 in it, and it's called D2: The Mighty Ducks, the sequel to The Mighty Ducks.
Classic.
That is
now, this is the big one. This is where the knuckle puck comes into it. This is where Team USA comes into it. Team Iceland. There's everything about this movie is top notch.
There's even a handshake at the end. It's perfect. It's the perfect way. Let's go shake their hands.
And in a COVID world, there's nothing sexier than seeing a handshake on TV in a film now. It's like, oh my god,
yeah. You can't even get that in real life anymore. You got to live for it. The only thing that I don't like about this movie is that the ice skating shop owner, whose name was Hans, was replaced with someone named, I think it's his cousin, and his name's like Jan or something instead. And as a child, I always thought it was the same person because it's just like this Scandinavian guy working in an ice skating shop. But no, they swapped him out with his cousin instead. And when I watched it recently, that sort of broke my heart.
There you have it. Childhood Tom is a racist after saying all Scandinavian people look the same. You heard it here first on the Questionnaires podcast. You're cancelled, Tom. You're cancelled.
Every actor that is Scandinavian in Hollywood is a Skarsgård. I don't believe that there are any other Scandinavians out there.
There isn't.
Oh, that's funny. Tom's question is, I ran into my ex-boyfriend who has amnesia. What do I do?
Too good. No. Boyfriend said my ex is funner to talk to. So I'm a little shyer and more of a listener. My boyfriend is more of the opposite. He's a lot more confident than me and just a people person. Since we started dating, I've been trying to be more vocal and expressive. Well, it's been 5 months. We've had tiny arguments that we often talk about, but tonight stung. We had a small argument because I wasn't fast enough texting back. I was at work and then he called me to talk. I explained to him I'm not allowed to have my phone out, and I guess he was having a tough night because he lost it. In the end, he said he didn't care if I talked to him or not because he had a nicer time talking to his co-workers and ex than me when she was far more interesting. He's been friends with her ever since we were dating, and it's a trigger for me. I'm fine with them being friends, but that hurt. I honestly want to break up with him because I'm obviously not satisfying him. D2.
Kick him in the balls. No, joking.
Yes. No, Damien, that's a silly response. Pretend you've got amnesia. That's
yes, of course.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
She walks up to him. I forget what happens when a guy gets kicked in the balls again, and then kicks him in the balls. Oh, now I remember.
Combine the
I got my memory back now.
Yeah.
So this person, like, I will say that the attitude that this person is sort of displaying, you can tell that they're a passive person in the relationship by saying that he must have been having a tough night because he lost it. It's almost like she's forgiving him for getting angry at her for her not texting back or not replying to him. So she's very, very passive. I think that's the one thing that I found very clear with this question.
I mean, that would hurt. Like, that is such a low blow from the boyfriend, because I think, I mean, in a relationship, you obviously want to be like emotionally and physically satisfied, and compatible with your partner. So for them to be like, do you know that thing that we do every day, and the reason we know each other and share stories and, I enjoy doing that with coworkers. So people I'm not even, people who I'm paid to interact with for the most part. Yeah. I enjoy speaking to them more. I will talk about spreadsheets with them. I'm happy to do
anything
that.
with you. I'm enjoying that. I'm not enjoying you.
I almost think that hurts more than hearing that they enjoy talking to their ex more. At least they shared an intimate relationship at one point.
That's true.
Yeah. So I like how you like spreadsheets, because that's like, it's like this guy must be an accountant because he's a dick. He likes spreadsheets or a businessman.
I never said that. I never said that.
Other industries use spreadsheets except accounting.
No, it's only accountants that use spreadsheets. It's all known.
No. Everyone else, you don't own Excel, Marcus, okay? Just calm down.
No, but I agree with you. Like, the fact that someone says, I'd rather talk to coworkers than you is... That's the dagger, and the X is the twist of the dagger in your back. Yeah. Like, it's a... Yeah.
The problem is that she knows it's her weakness as far as being passive, right? And he's attacking that by making her feel insecure. She knows she's an insecure person, and he's making her feel insecure. And I feel like that's a bad move on his behalf, especially because she's thinking that she's done the wrong thing here. But I don't think she has. Like, she feels bad for being upset.
Yeah. And speaking of insecure, Marcus, what's going on with the whole accountant thing, buddy? I just mentioned spreadsheets, and all of a sudden you thought I was taking a shot at accountants. What's going on here? Did I hit a soft spot?
Look, you hit a soft spot. Everybody attacks accountants for being boring and all the rest of it. We gotta stick up for ourselves, all right?
Do you know how you make accounting sexy? Actually, now I'm thinking about it. This is how you make an Excel spreadsheet, a Sexcel spreadsheet. At your work, you take the Abercrombie and Finch models, right? You bring them into your office, pop the shirts off. Yep. You use their abs as Excel cells, and you just draw the grids between the abs, and you fill in the abs. There you go. Sexy accounting.
Instead of it being...
How many, I was going to say, how many different men do you need to do a full spreadsheet? Because you only got 6, maybe 8 abs if you're like completely cut. How many guys laying next to each other to do like to balance someone's books, Marcus?
Instead of it being called Abercrombie and Finch, it's Abacus and Finch.
That's nice.
Oh, very good. Very good. Hey,
boys,
be good with numbers, not good with words.
We need to cut this out of the podcast. We've hit on $1 million idea. Sure, we may go bankrupt from employing droves of shirtless men, but We will go down in a blaze of glory.
Blaze of glory, Abacus and Fitch. I love it.
A bit of ab counting.
Ab counting. Ooh, I like it.
So what do you reckon about this person here? This poor person, D2. The friends with the ex, I think keeping her around is obviously something that bothers her too. Saying that she honestly wants to break up with him because I'm not satisfying him. Do you think that that's the case? Do you think that she isn't satisfying him?
I think so. And I don't know. I don't know if I could bounce back from somebody who, when you have an argument, their go-to is to be like, well, I get mental stimulation from other people. You do not, you don't do it for me in that regard. I don't know if there is coming back from that. I think you should talk about it. But I would say if you're already thinking about breaking up with him, he's definitely giving you a catalyst to maybe speed that process up. He's making it a little bit easier, I think. He sounds like a dick.
He definitely sounds like the kind of person that you don't want to be in a relationship with. Because, look, every relationship fights. It's normal to fight. But if he's going to throw in your face, I'd rather talk to co-workers or other people. It doesn't matter about the ex. Doesn't matter about being friends with the ex and all that. Let's take that out of it. If he's going to throw that in your face, then that's a bad defense mechanism. That's not one you want to be a part of, because then you're always fighting like you're always going to be questioning yourself.
I got to say, I know that he's saying this obviously because she's insecure about it, but saying that, he doesn't need her for, that stimulation. But if she was to break up with him, I think that he would chase after her because there's obviously got to be some reason that he's staying with her. So she's just unsure of herself and she thinks that she probably needs him more than he thinks that he needs her. I say cut it off, and then you could almost see the true colours after that because he probably doesn't think that she's got it in her to basically break up.
That's true. It could backfire, and he might just go straight to his ex if they've been keeping that going. But you're right. You get your answer either way.
Yeah, true.
It's worth it. It's 100% worth it because, he might go back to the ex and then you realise, not for me. That's it. I'd rather find somebody that finds me entertaining enough. Like, it's always nice to have, that little goal to be a bit better. Like, all right, I've got to be a bit more talkative. I've got to be a bit more out there. But if you have a partner that's already, you're trying and he's still shitting on you, then fuck that. I would rather know. I agree with Tom there.
People in the comments were very much like, he should cut it off with his ex, right? I don't know whether it's that they work together, so, he works with his ex, so it's different. What do you think about that? Is that something that you should just be like, bang, no, you shouldn't do it, depending on, there's obviously, a lot of different things you could have. Shared friendship groups and things like that, so it might be more difficult, but that's what a lot of people are saying in the advice of this particular question.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the whole staying friends with exes after, it's tough because I don't know if it depends. They could have been dating a month, they could have been dating a year, they could have been dating 5 years. True. I don't think the amount of time they dated matters too much because you would kind of think, well, why are they still staying in touch? For what benefit are they getting? And in this girl's situation, the partner has said what he's getting, the benefit, and that's kind of feels like emotional cheating in a way. It doesn't feel good to hear that. What do you guys think? Do you think he should be cutting that relationship off?
I don't like I've never been friends with any of my exes or anything like that because there's just too much emotional baggage and all the rest of it. Look, some people can be friends with their exes and it's perfectly fine. Maybe they're friends. Maybe they just broke it off because they wanted to be friends and that's that. Yeah, but I feel like it's a case of you can't tell him to stop seeing an ex or anything like that. Simply, you can say it makes me feel uncomfortable, and it could be up to him at the end of the day. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, then you tell him, you say, I don't feel comfortable with it. Can you please stop it? And if he says no, then I think that's good enough reason for you to go, you know what, not for me.
I think that's a good point. I think if you're not comfortable with it and you can't deal with it, maybe it's something that you should at least word it out to him. It could be nothing there. This is obviously a different situation because he's actually bringing that up and saying that he's enjoying it. But then in that case, I don't think you shouldn't just be like, get rid of the ex, then you've gotten rid of the problem, because the problem is him in this situation. And how he's treating D2. So you get rid of that person and there could be another problem later on. So obviously I think the person that is the problem is the boyfriend. And there's no reason why she shouldn't just be like, well, you know what? No, I'm better than this.
Yeah. And what you guys are laid out there, maybe they're just not compatible in that way. If they're both living their lives in a way where it's causing friction and they can't work it out, maybe they need to make the United States and Iceland in Mighty Ducks, shake hands and walk away from it.
That's it.
Yeah. It's true. I think there's no better way to sum this up than watch the final scene of D2 the Mighty Ducks, and then just tell me maybe she should come out after the second period and be dressed up in the Mighty Ducks attire, which is how that movie ends, which is the most amazing thing. They head out onto the ice for the first half of the game wearing Team USA. They're not gelling well, so what do? They go out with the Ducks uniform, and that's what gets them over the line. It's just a beautiful movie.
Yep, and the message is patriotism gets you nowhere.